This is a podcast or something like that.
Hello and welcome to the Verbal Journal Podcast, episode 38, I believe. I believe it's 38. Welcome. If it's not 38, I apologize in advance and subsequently. If you hear some noise in the background, it's a little bit of a fan going. I might turn it off, but we're letting it ride for now because I did an audio test and it didn't seem super audible. But I might have been wrong. If so, apologies in advance and subsequently. Welcome. Episode's a little bit later today. We have just a lot of people absolutely losing their minds in the Discord server right now and just publicly on Twitter. I think What's Therapy is trending on Twitter, twitter.org. And then Verbal Journal is a close second because some people, they don't know the name of the podcast. They just call it the What's Therapy podcast, but it's actually called the Verbal Journal podcast, obviously. So yeah, it's trending right now on twitter.org. A lot of people saying, why is the podcast late? Doesn't he record it usually in the morning? I recorded it late today. I was chilling with some friends. I was doing the hangout. And look, I said later is fine, and I made the executive decision, the chief executive decision, actually. It's the CED. Well, hey, one cool piece of news I have is, all right, let me turn the fan off. Whoa, that was crazy. There was like a car in the background. So people who gave up on the podcast before 2 minutes in will not realize we did turn the fan off, but we did. Okay, I turned the fan off. So don't leave comments being like, "Why'd you leave the fan on?" Okay, if you leave a comment like that, I'll know you didn't listen to the whole episode, or even 3 minutes of it, or 2 full. So fans off, dance off, and welcome to the Verbal Journal Pod. One cool piece of news, channel news, is we're going to do a live stream 1 week from today, around this time, actually, a little bit later, I think maybe 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Going to do a live stream on the main channel where I will be interviewing comedian Gavin Matz. I think I can announce it. I don't see why not. I don't believe it has to be any secret. I will post it on YouTube, a day or two before. Make sure to give people the heads up so they can set a reminder on their device of choice and their application of choice. Oh shit, I just realized there's baseball on tonight. Oh fuck. First game of the AL championship series, right? Wait, let's check that really quick. Yeah, 8:15 p.m. So I'm going to be interviewing Gavin Matz. He's a really good comedian, and he's actually kind of well known. So it's actually pretty dope for the channel. Gavin Matz he's originally from Canada. I think Vancouver or something, but I haven't done my full research. I'm going to do all my research. So a few episodes ago, I was talking about a different interview that I'm working on setting up. That one's still in the works. Very different type of interview, obviously. But I do like interviewing, and I do want to do more interviewing. So anyways, Gavin Matz is someone I've actually known about for a while. If he was himself like the comedian of the good quality he is, and the renown he is, and I didn't know of him, I would still very much be thrilled to be interviewing him. But turns out I actually already know his stuff and am a fan of his stuff, which makes it obviously way cooler. I've liked him. I found out about him through the Not Even a Show. He was part of the Not Even a Show at the beginning, like whatever year, 2017, 2018, or I don't know, whenever it started. He's in some of the episodes. But he also, I know him from the Not Even a Show podcast, the NEAS podcast to be specific, which is a podcast I've talked about before on this podcast because it's like basically the only podcast I have listened to. Oh, fuck. Hope the audio is not weird. I was just okay. Anyways, so yeah, he was like a guest with Chris and Ben on the I almost said on the Verbal Journal podcast, on the NEAS pod. Gavin was a guest on a bunch of episodes. I want to say 2020. I sort of forget what part of the year. I want to say late 2020 or something. I don't know. I've listened to the episodes so many times. He's hilarious. He's really funny. And so on those episodes, and then I looked at his stand-up on his channel, and I watched some of his stand-up. I commented on some of it. I subscribed. I commented. He posts. I don't know. I haven't checked lately, but he posted fairly regularly, and he even has like a short film that's like comedy and drama, but mostly comedy, and it's really good for like a short film. Yeah, he's a really interesting comedian. He really is, and I don't like a lot of stand-up, and I don't think he likes a lot of stand-up either. His first, yeah, whatever. We'll get into that in the interview, but yeah, I really do like his stuff. He's interesting. I mean, he sort of does kind of push the envelope in certain ways. Like he does make jokes where you have to sort of know that he knows that, you know, the joke is fucked up in the way it's fucked up. And then you can laugh. But that's all like instantaneous and subconscious. Like the type of humor where like not the type of comedian that's like edgy for the sake of being edgy, but you know, he does just like he does make jokes about like all kinds of, I guess, taboo subjects. And a lot of them are super fucking dope. And so the way I connected with Gavin is so recently, like a few weeks ago, I got a comment on my Breaking Bad video, and I read most of my comments. So I saw a notification, I check it, it's a comment, and it's from Gavin Matz. And I'm like, Gavin Matz, and I recognize the image, and I'm like, oh my God, it's fucking Gavin Matz. He just commented on my video, and he left a really funny comment. He was like, after watching Better Call Saul, everyone in Breaking Bad seems so angry. And I just responded, and I was like, whoa, man, I love your work, dude. Thanks for watching. And he was like, oh, thanks, yeah. Or I forget what he said. He said, like, yeah, I recognized the username, and he's like, the video was suggested, and I thought the name seemed familiar or something like that, because, you know, I had seen my comments. So, you know, just the beauty of YouTube, bringing people together. And it'll be really interesting. So he has a new special coming out. So I'm going to be interviewing him as like promo for his new special. And, you know, I don't know how long it'll go. I assume we'll talk for like an hour or so. But, yeah, gonna chat with him about the new special and making, you know, being a comedian. He's US based, even though he's from Canada. So, you know, being a comedian, he tours a lot or did tour a lot. You know, we're just going to talk about all kinds of stuff. He talks about really intense mental health themes in his work, in his stand-up. So it'll be definitely really cool to talk with him about that. And yeah, and he's clearly, he said he watched a bunch of the videos. So it'll be fun I'm definitely going to save time to get his takes on Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, just to get him on the record about that. So that'll be really dope. And this is the official first announcement. So if you listen to the Verb Journ pod, congratulations on getting that early announcement. Interview with Gavin Matz coming up Sunday, live streamed on YouTube on the main channel. And it will be available after the live stream. So you do not have to be there Sunday. It will be publicly available afterwards. And I will post about it on my community page like a good YouTuber. Okay. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the episode. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. So next up, hold on, let me have some water. Following up on the last episode, we were talking about biographies, artist biographies specifically. I've read hundreds more pages in the Marcel Duchamp biography. I am fairly close to the end. We're almost, it's almost at like the end of the 60s, or when is it? I think we're in the late 60s. Yeah. And he's like 70. He was born in 87, so he's like 75, 80. He lived a long time. Yeah, he just like aged really well. I don't know. That's kind of dope. Life goals. Anyways, one thing I said, I was talking about artist biographies, and I was saying, in a way, what biographies do is they separate artists from their work and help you understand the artist separately from the work. But I was just reflecting on that, and I was like, it's kind of funny I said that, because it's also true that the opposite is, the case. I mean, if anything, what a biography does is teach you more about the artist. You actually don't really know anything about the artist just from looking at the work, right? That's the whole point. Well, not exactly. I mean, you do see parts of the artist in the work, but then there's the question of how you want to interact with other parts of the artist that maybe you don't see in the work. And a biography can bring those up, but it can also just bring up the parts of the artist that you do see it in the work. So in a way, it can connect you more to an understanding of the connections between an artist and the work. And so I just think it was funny I said that biographies sort of separate an artist from the work when you could just as easily say they connect an artist to the work. I've been painting a bit. Just a little bit of painting, chilling it on the canvas. Next up on this episode, I saved a link from ESPN.com. Oh yeah, it's about a soccer team that hasn't won since 2004, and they're the world's worst team. The article is called "San Marino haven't won since 2004 and are world's worst team, but they're not giving up." The article says, "Highway to Hell rings out around San Marino Stadium as the world's worst football team prepares to face Slovenia in a Euro 2024 qualifier. The stadium DJ clearly has a sense of humor, unless the playlist is part of some cunning okay. San Marino sits 207th out of 207 in the FIFA men's rankings. They climbed up from 208th spot in September because Eritrea, previously above them, why is it San Marino, San Marino, Saraville, San Marino. Where is that? Hold on. Wait, what is San Marino? What? Wait, what? It's the 5th smallest country in the world. I thought it was a city in California, y'all. Fuck. Honestly, I'm like borderline wanting to delete that, but I just can't. That's gotta be content. Wow. Okay, I thought that was a city in California. Okay. The country derives its name from Saint Marinus, a stonemason from the then Roman island of Rab in present-day Croatia. Born in AD 275, Marinus... What the fuck? Wow. Uniquely, San Marino's constitution dictates that its democratically elected legislature, the Grand and General Council, must elect 2 heads of state every 6 months. 2 heads of state every 6 months. Known as Captain's Regent, the 2 heads of state serve concurrently and with equal powers until their term expires after 6 months. That is fucking dope. San Marinus left the island of Rab in present-day Croatia. I don't know why I'm pronouncing Croatia wrong. It's not really funny. I've just been watching On Cinema too much. Okay, anyways. San Marino is not a city in California. San Marino is on the northeastern side of the Apennine Mountains. It's only 61 square kilometers. Wait, what fucking... Yeah. Wait, where is this exactly? Oh, I see. It's within Italy. I see. It's fully within Italy. It's a European microstate. Wow, they are just doing some wild stuff over there in Europe. Anything goes. You know what I mean? It's just absolutely wild. Okay, so San Marino, not a city in California, which makes sense because, cities in California don't have FIFA soccer teams, you might be thinking. Well, I don't watch soccer, so I thought maybe this was some league I wasn't aware of. But then they started saying they were playing Slovenia, and then they're playing Eritrea, and I'm like, what? Okay, so San Marino, that tiny country, is 207th out of 207 in the FIFA men's ranking. So those are all countries. Those are all countries. They climbed up from 208th spot in September because Eritrea, previously above them, was removed from the list after 4 years without a game. And they have been... Wow, so that's dope. San Marino made it from 208th to 207th. Do you think they uncorked some champagne when that happened? And they're like, we're 207th. Eritrea was disqualified. And they've been rooted to rock bottom since November 2018. The only fear being felt by Slovenia is probably about suffering the ignominy of being one of a few teams that hasn't been. So yeah, if they draw, April 2024 will mark the 20th anniversary of their last and only victory, when Andy Selva's sixth minute goal sealed a 1-0 home win in a friendly against Liechtenstein in front of just 200 supporters. Oh, so they don't have enough fans. Maybe it's the fans' fault they keep losing. While it is a harsh label to apply to a team from a tiny country of 33,000 inhabitants, it is an inescapable fact that San Marino are the worst football team in the world. If you have 11 minutes and 48 seconds to spare, you can watch every goal San Marino has ever scored. It says have ever scored. I feel like it should be has ever scored. Since their first game in 1990, with all 28 of them neatly packaged together in one YouTube video. Wow, hasn't had to be updated. Oh, they lost 4-0 to Slovenia. Okay. And there's a lot more article. They do a deep dive into all the players. Wow, ESPN. Wow. Good job, Mark Ogden, senior writer. Okay, next up on the agenda for the VJP, we are going to talk about, what is this? What is this? A Twitter link? Why did I save this Twitter link? What is this? Hold on. Earlier this year, Disney was caught inserting digital scans of background actors into their film Prom Pact. Oh yeah, this was nuts. Disney and other studios have been digitally scanning background actors and now are using their digital likeness in various movies and TV shows without payment or permission. So that is literally real. This is a specific movie, and you can see the clip. They just look like video game characters. It's crazy. You're looking at the stands at a school game. Oh, hold on. I'm getting a call. Nah, it was just a wrong number or something. I don't know. I picked up and they just hung up before I even said anything. So, nope. That's a nothing burger. Anyways, yeah, it looks like video game characters. You're looking at the stands in a auditorium, and the first row is real people, I think. Yeah, the first row appears to be real people. And then the row right behind them is all AI fake background actors. And they're just putting this in movies for people. And you can tell. It's a quick shot, but you can tell. I mean, and when you freeze frame, it's unmistakable. But even in the shot, you can tell. People are not that dumb. That is so insulting to the viewer. Obviously, to the actor, that's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah, I don't know. Slavery has never really gone away. There are just new ways for our entire beings to be subsumed by corporate interests. And obviously, actual slavery still exists. But yeah, at the end of the day, as much as can be squeezed out of us by employers will be. Once in a while, you get a good employer that doesn't do that explicitly. but that's still like you still get fucked in the economy unless you're making bank. Because prices just go up and up, and like, yeah, I mean, it's just absurd that Disney wouldn't even hire background actors. Like, so next segment on the podcast would usually be talking about well, I haven't done this segment recently, the good comment of the week and the interesting comment of the week. I haven't done it recently because it feels kind of weird to just read out comments that people leave on my videos. Like some yeah, and I just, yeah. So sometimes there are comments I want to talk about, but this goes without saying, but like, yeah, I just don't want to do it. I just think it's, at the end of the day, it just, they have to be very specifically interesting to be worth like reading out. It's not worth just reading come and being like, that's weird, you know? So yeah, well, I'm going to delete that segment formally today. We've been not including it, just kind of seeing how that goes. We're going to formally delete that segment. The reading the comments, and we're only going to read comments on special occasions when they're worth it. Okay, chess segment of the week. Lots to talk about. There's been a lot of controversy in the chess world. Magnus Carlsen, former world chess champion, current highest rated chess player, and arguably the greatest of all time in competition with Kasparov. He lost a game, which does not happen frequently, losing a slow game where they have hours to play. He does not lose classical games very often, not more than 1 or 2 a year, honestly, and has gone over a year without losing one before. I remember watching the game where he lost finally against Jan-Christoph Duda. Was Duda the one before the streak and then he lost to like Esipenko or something? I don't remember. I think he lost to Duda to lose the streak. But anyways, he lost to this young guy, like much lower rated than him. Okay, the people I was just naming are close to Magnus's rating somewhat. They're super grandmasters at least. He lost to someone who's not a super grandmaster, meaning it was like someone like 2,500 instead of like 2,700. So he lost to someone 2,500. He's like 2,800. So he lost to someone 2,500, and what's the person's name? Alisher Soleimanov, and round 2 of the 2023 Qatar Masters. Qatar? Is it Qatar? People say Qatar, I guess, right? Qatar? Feels like it should be Qatar, but I'm not gonna make the ruling on that one. Yeah, it was quite a game. Really, really amazing too. Like, I guess Magnus made some blunders. Obviously, you can't lose a game without making bad moves, but really, White just played some amazing tactics. There was a knight sack on f7. There was then a subsequent rook sack on d5 by the same side, and then just an amazing attack, throwing everything at the position as you have to do when you're playing Magnus. Yeah, 28-39 Magnus's rating versus 25-12 Alisher Soleimanov. Anyways, Magnus, I didn't see the tweets exactly. He basically complained about this kid playing with his watch, like the kid who beat him. You know, he was like messing around with his watch. I think Magnus said it was distracting. Again, I didn't watch all the clips. I don't feel like doing a full deep dive into it. But apparently, you know, he either like vaguely implied he was wondering whether there was a cheating device in the watch going on, or like didn't really say it and didn't mean to imply that. I guess it's kind of unsure. And then everyone made videos being like, Magnus loses and then accuses. I think that was like a Hikaru video. And then there's the other guy, Gotham Chess, did a video. Both of them like implying that he was more directly accusing this kid of cheating than he actually was, regardless of how much he actually was, which I just, like I said, I don't feel like doing a deep dive. Say he was like 20% accusing the kid, they implied he was like 90%, you know what I mean, or something like that. So, it's kind of interesting. Anyways, I would check out that game if I were you. Yeah, it was funny because all I saw was like, I don't follow the chess world like every day. I'm not like following it much all the time, even though I follow the games. I'm not like doing all the reading and stuff, and I haven't even been watching all these games lately, last few weeks. So yeah, so Magnus, you know, my take on it is like, I mean, at first I thought he had actually accused this kid, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, but I don't know, he doesn't seem like he doesn't seem like he accuses people just because he loses chess games. So like, And at the end of the day, it was really funny because the only thing I've really watched in this case is like the Gotham Chess, who's like one of the most famous chess YouTubers, like behind Hikaru, the most famous probably. Gotham Chess, he's like a grandmaster, but he doesn't play, I don't think, and hasn't really played at the highest level in years, I think, but I don't think he plays much at all outside of online streaming stuff. But anyways, he's a content creator, and that's fine. And then Hikaru is a content creator and a top level chess player. But both of them made videos, and it was funny watching Gotham Chess. He did this video in response to Magnus getting mad at Hikaru, and by implication also Gotham Chess. Magnus got mad at them for what they posted, and he was like, if you want to use my name to get clicks, I understand, but please do better. Like don't go this far that to imply that I'm cheating. I'm saying they're cheating or something. Please do better. So he was harsh on them. And then Gotham Chess, his defense was so dumb. He was like, look guys, you have to understand, like, I know I do these clickbait titles, but what you don't understand is like that makes me a lot more money. Like I'm not exaggerating. Like Gotham Chess, he's like I'm running a business and I have to do that. He's like, I did an ad integration and I don't have to get a certain number of views for the ad integration. It's a single fee for the ad integration, but I do want to get a lot of views. And it's like, that's like the funniest thing. That's like when people were like having others get mad at them at the beginning of the pandemic because, the people who would like still have parties and then other people get mad at them for having parties. And they're like, why are you you're getting mad at me for having a party? Like, I know there's COVID going on, but like, you don't understand. Like, I want to get together with my friends. It's like, no, we did understand that. It's like the same with like Gotham Chess. It's like, no, dude, we did understand that you get more money when you clickbait, man. The question is whether that's like a good way to fully make your decision, right? Like, because again, I'm not even knowing which side to take. I didn't look at the original statements word for word and check out exactly how much Magnus was implying this kid was cheating. But by the apology that it's not an apology, but by the response that Gotham Chess and Hikaru had, it made it seem like they realized they had overplayed their hand. And I stopped watching the Fabiano and Christian, what's his name, C Squared podcast. They blew up with the Hans Niemann stuff and like commented on it. And I thought they crossed a line. I didn't fully realize it at the time. It sort of dawned on me as time passed. They crossed a line. They were way too I actually did realize it at the time. I remember watching them and realizing that they were overplaying their hand. And that's not even defending Hans Niemann. I think everyone has the right to comment on the Hans Niemann stuff. I think looking through random games of his and speculating whether he's cheating is ridiculous. But and that's becoming a content creator, which is not something you should necessarily inherently do. It's interesting, this line. And that was Hikaru's defense, was like, Magnus doesn't understand content creation. That's what Hikaru said. Magnus doesn't understand. Which I think is funny to say that. Like, that's, again, it's just like this, what's the word for it? Real politic. It's like the real politics shit. Like, where it's like, and it's kind of like the wolves and sheep thing, where you're like, oh, this is just like how it is. Like, this is how I have to do things if I want to succeed. I mean, Gotham Chess is not going to starve if he doesn't clickbait. Like, there's a lot of chess news going on every day. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand why you could just defend yourself. And then Hikaru too. Like, I watched his response too, and he was like very, very sort of like pissed off with Magnus for Magnus directly calling him out. I mean, but like, they do use his name for clicks, and like what I'm trying to say is Hikaru and Gotham Chess, neither of them defended themselves by arguing that Magnus was actually implying that this person was cheating. They both defended themselves by saying he doesn't understand how content works. This is what people want. Which I think is a bad defense. I think ethically that's a bad defense. I think saying, look, his comments were a little bit too much across the line. It seemed like he did actually think this kid cheated. I think that's all you need to say if you didn't cross the line. Anyways, that was interesting. Okay, wait. I also gave myself this. Oh yeah. So this is the Hikaru clip where he's talking about this situation, and I just wanted to play one short segment of it. And I think you'll know why I'm showing it. I think if you've been listening to the pod for a bit, you might know why I'm showing this clip. All right, here it is.
There are going to be some amount of people who automatically assume that he's accusing the guy of cheating, and that's because Magnus Carlsen. I mean, okay, technically he's not the world champion, but he's the best player in the world.
So the reason I'm showing that is obviously because I have this whole thing where I'm following how Magnus Carlsen in his Twitter bio refuses to take out the false claim that he is the world chess champion. Still, in his Twitter bio, it says world chess champion. And it also is his Twitter header. People change their header all the time. And he has a social media team. He could just call his team and say, change the... Okay, wait, let's look at his tweets. Okay. Here's what he said about... Oh, I didn't see the original interview, but what he tweeted about the thing was, I was completely crushed in my game today. This is not to accuse my opponent of anything, who played an amazing game and deserved to win. But honestly, as soon as I saw my opponent was wearing a watch early in the game, I lost my ability to concentrate. I obviously take responsibility for my inability to deal with those thoughts properly, but it's also incredibly frustrating to see organizers still not taking anti-cheating seriously at all. No transmission delay, spectators walking around the playing hall with smartphones. Yeah, I mean, he has every right to talk about this. And then he followed it up and he said, I did ask an arbiter during the game whether watches were allowed, and he clarified that smartwatches were banned but not analog watches. This seems to be against FIDE rules for events of this stature. Yeah, I agree with him. And I'm not one to defend Magnus and everything. He has every right to talk about this. And then he then follows it up with a screen cap of Hikaru's video about him that has a huge Magnus picture in the thumbnail and says Magnus loses and then accuses is the title. And Magnus said the thing I said. Constantly using my name for clicks is fine, but this is just lame. Do better. Yeah, I agree with him. And I like I said, I didn't see what he said in the original interview, but I like, this is totally fair. I don't see why players should wear a watch during a chess game. I don't think that's really necessary. It's kind of absurd. You don't need a watch in any way. And if you need a watch, you can have it in your pocket. You don't need to be wearing it. I mean, even having it in your pocket is probably wrong, right? Because there could still be a device in it. I think like tournaments of this stature, he's right. They should just have different rules. Anyway, so Magnus still has not taken out world chess champion from his bio or his header. It's also on his YouTube page. He is not world chess champion. It's not debatable. And you just heard Hikaru specify it, as anyone would. Okay. Let's check out the mailbag, the Verbal Journal mailbag. You can write into verbaljournalpodcast@gmail.gov or com, I think. verbaljournalpodcast@gmail.com. And if you'd ever like to respond to anything, we got, a prestigious person writing in, very prestigious. Google emailed 22 hours ago, says, security alert. Ooh, that's kind of an enticing subject line. Okay, let's read the body. A new sign-in on Windows. We noticed a new sign-in to your Google account on a Windows device. If this was you, you don't need to do anything. If not, we'll help you secure your account. Check activity. Wow. So thanks for writing in, Google. I do appreciate that, kind of mixing it up. You haven't written in a few months, so I appreciate you writing in again into the pod. Yeah, and I don't, you didn't really ask a question, so next time you could sort of ask a question if you want, but it's good to just get a comment as well. And for the last segment on the pod, we have the screen time report. And today I'm doing it later in the day, so I have to pull it up myself because I don't have it as a notification. Here it is. Remember when I didn't know how to do this? If you've been listening for many months, you will remember when I did not know how to pull up the screen time report myself if I no longer had the notification. But we live and we learn. 38-ish episodes in. Okay, so this past week I used my phone for 46 minutes a day on average, which is 9 minutes less than the week prior's daily average. And I used YouTube a fair bit. I don't remember what I watched on my phone. Okay. Hope you enjoyed that screen time report segment. That's a fan favorite. We always get into the interesting nitty gritty in that segment. Gritty. Okay, anyways, have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for listening. Call your friends or family if you'd like and tell them hello. And thanks for listening. And I'll be back next weekend. Well, next weekend, I'll probably do a pod in the morning and then do the interview later at night. Yeah, I don't see why not. But get pumped for that. Okay. And go watch Gavin Matz's comedy to get ready for it. Okay. Goodbye.
This is a podcast or something